Welcome to another episode of the Halas Huddle podcast. Here are your hosts, Rob Schwarz and Justin Onayemi, two Bears fans who decided talking into a microphone was better than shouting at their television.
Welcome into episode 25 of the Halas Huddle podcast, the Tristan Ebner episode.
That's right. Or Garrett Wolf for the NIU Huskies out there.
Yeah, or those people who like to follow the NFL players who are criminally charged for doing wrong things.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you didn't hear that part?
I guess we shouldn't. That's a different podcast.
Yeah. Just Google it if you're interested. Garrett Wolf being arrested.
Oh, man. I wonder what his mugshot height was. It's probably more accurate than the combine. But
Probably.
anyway.
Well, we have a special bye-week episode. I know, going into this week, people are probably doing previews of Bears versus Eagles. But we're going to do something a little bit different. We usually don't do a preview episode. We are going to look at the future.
That's right.
We're going to preview 2023.
Love it. So, I mean, if we do a good job here, we could be the next GM, assistant GM of the Bears.
That's right.
I'll probably do it for like 1/20th of the salary that.
Yeah. I mean, a couple 100,000, I'll be fine.
There we go. Let's see how we do first.
All right.
It's probably not as easy of a job as it might seem.
Probably not. Yeah, I completely forgot to introduce. Obviously, I'm sure most of you have listened by now, but I'm Rob Schwarz, and as always, joined with me is Justin Onayemi.
Yeah, we just kind of went right in.
Yeah.
We figure we got our regular viewers, our regular listeners.
I mean, we're up to 1 million subscribers now.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Wow. It was like 500,000 last week.
That's how good we're doing.
That's exponential growth. I like it. All right.
And we have a giveaway
We do.
going on, which, by the way, I got confirmation from the last guy that he did receive his giveaway.
Nice.
And we have another one going on right now, just started.
I think if you're watching on YouTube, you can tell Rob and I both have really excellent taste in hats.
Yes. And that's
the giveaway.
That's where we went. Yeah, we went with a hat. You can tell us what size. It's a flex fit hat, so it's not like a fitted where you need to know an exact number, but they have medium or small, medium large, and large extra large. I will say I feel like I have an average size head and I'm a medium large.
It's called medium large or
medium
large? Or large?
No, it's medium/L.
Oh,
M/L.
And then what?
L/XL. And
then just damn if it's bigger than that. I know some people that would need that size.
So I own an LXL and it does not fit very well. It's a little too big.
Loose?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I probably medium large.
Probably.
I have a very regular size head, I guess.
I was gonna say I'm pretty average, I feel like.
I don't know.
I wear a 7 1/8 in fitted hats, if that helps anyone.
Okay.
So.
I think we're already well off topic.
We are. All right.
We got a lot to cover.
We do. All right. So the giveaway, you guys just need to go onto Twitter, search the Halas Huddle. You'll find the tweet there pinned to the top of the page, and it gives you the instructions on how you can be entered into the giveaway.
We're not messing around here, people.
No. So once we hit 100 retweets, and I know last time we said we were going to go low, but I feel like a hat is worth 100 retweets. So
agreed.
100 retweets. Once we hit that,
and we can only be 20 of them.
Boom. Yeah. Yeah. I've already given one free one already. So.
All right. So should we set up how we're going to do this?
Yeah. Well, okay. So there's going to be 3 segments to the show. The first segment is going to be very quick. Justin and I are going to go through our top 5 needs for 2022.
And we did not discuss this pre-show. So I wrote down mine, don't peek, but I also wrote down spots here where I want to write down what you end up saying. Okay. See how similar we are.
All right. And we're going to go reverse order.
Yeah. Starting with the 5th most likely need. I'll tell you what, though. Doing this exercise made me realize just how much the Bears need for next year. They got a lot of opportunity.
Yeah.
But this might be a 2-year rebuild more than a 1 year. I mean, if you count this year as 1, then a 3-year rebuild as opposed to 2.
I'm hoping it's not, just because I feel like then you're already getting into Justin Fields, and we need to get into the 5th year territory.
I mean, we haven't even discussed, are we talking this team only wins 3 games this year? Because 3 to Super Bowl contender is a big jump, but what about 3 to making the playoffs to
Sure.
You're solidified as one of the best teams in the NFC.
Okay, I mean, if they're making the playoffs next year, I'm fine with that.
Same.
Okay.
So but we're gonna talk about positional needs. That's segment 1.
Segment 2, we're gonna put our GM hats on. We're not changing hats, but we're gonna put our figmented.
This is what most GMs wear.
Yes, it is actually, especially this time of year.
Yeah, gosh.
And we're gonna go through the salary cap. We're gonna go through the roster. We're gonna cut guys. We're gonna re-sign guys who are contracts are expiring. We're gonna pick up guys in free agency. Maybe we even decide to trade.
Right. And so I love this episode. I think it's going to be great. And we're going to keep promoting it even afterwards because it's still a look forward to next year. But other than deciding what the segments were, you and I did not discuss these things. So I'm curious how similar our opinions are. A lot of it, I think, is things we've already discussed throughout the show. Yes. So maybe some of the Halas Huddle listeners who've been dedicated the whole time will see where we're making some of these decisions. So... And last but not least,
we're going to do a 7-round mock draft. So we're doing the whole offseason in an hour episode?
Yeah, let's go, Poles.
I mean, come on.
Come on, Cunningham.
Yeah, what is this? By the way, are you Poles and I'm Cunningham?
You're
Poles, you're Cunningham?
You're Poles, right. I'm Cunningham, which means I could be out of here soon.
Nah, I'm going to be promoted to president and you're going to be GM.
Oh, that'll work.
All right.
Okay.
Works for me.
All right, so top 5 positional needs for the Bears. Why don't you go first with your 5th most crucial, and we go back and forth.
So I did not get specific, but I'm going to just say defensive back. I want them to find whether it's they want to focus on corner and get that nickel. Kyler Gordon is not a nickel cornerback. He has struggled there. He's much better on the outside. Get him to the outside. Get Jalen Johnson on the outside. Find your nickel back. Or / kind of like a twofer, you get a safety behind Eddie Jackson. Eddie Jackson should be back next year. We'll see. We're going to make that decision.
Giving away some of your... Okay.
But if he is back, you find somebody who's going to be the next person to come up.
So, funny enough, I wrote down DB depth as my 5th. And it's similar to what you're saying, although I'm not sold on Gordon either playing in the slot or outside. I just feel like give him one to focus on.
Yes.
So, whichever one it ends up being. All right, I'll go with my 4 then. I tried to make it clever. So DB depth with the alliteration. And then I put for number 4, lots O linebackers.
Which is shocking enough. I also have linebacker.
Okay.
Right now, in my mind, the only one that I know is a lock is Jack Sanborn.
Think about that, right?
Crazy.
Undrafted free agent. Now he's the only lock for next year.
Yeah. Wow.
So what do you got for 3?
Number 3 might piss some people off. Number 3 is wide receiver. I think some people might want that to be a little bit higher on the list, but with Chase Claypool coming in, I feel like that's as high as it can get for me.
So I already think we're going to have identical lists, which is pretty cool. But I put top end wide receiver or solid depth at the position.
Okay.
So depending on what we're able to pull here between trading, we talked about how free agency isn't going to get you that guy, maybe the draft. So I'm thinking either top end guy or you're that team that has like 4 number 2s.
Yeah.
So I had wide receiver as well. My number 2 need, I put O-line overhaul, makeover if I'm being nice.
Okay.
But I think it's a full-blown overhaul.
I agree with you. I can think of one guy who's a lock, probably 2. I might be looking for 3 replacements.
Jenkins is your lock. Braxton Jones, you just want to give him the respect that he hasn't been horrible.
Exactly. And if he can put some strength training in, technically, like his technical stuff is fine.
He's a 5th-round rookie playing the most critical position on the line and hasn't looked bad.
No, his fundamentals are there. It's just some strength.
And knowing what the list is,
yes, we can just say it at the same time.
D-line demolition.
I didn't know where your other word was going, so I didn't want to overspeak it. But
at the same time,
New Girl reference again.
Yes, you gotta be with it with our New Girl references. So, yeah, D-line.
Yeah,
5 for 5, man.
Whether you go defensive end, defensive tackle, you need it all.
You need it all. I mean, game after game, no pressure at all.
Yeah.
Which then actually has me a little bit more impressed with what I've seen from the DBs because they've had to cover a lot more.
Yes.
So you fix the D-line, you're helping your DBs, and we also had DB in our top 5 still. So pretty similar there.
Yeah. All right. So
I wonder if listeners and viewers, if they would have a similar list.
I think the top 3 might be like
blocks.
shift it. No, I feel like some people might shift it, right? Like some people might go, you can't.
D-line has to be one, though, right?
In my opinion, yes, but there are people out there that are like, if you can't block for Justin Fields, you're never going to win a Super Bowl. Like,
it reminds me of our post-2022 draft conversation where you were like, they don't even care about Fields. They're not helping him all. And I'm saying, well, getting young, talented defenders is helping him.
Yeah. Well,
so, anyway, that's to be continued forever, I guess. All right. So, now transitioning to the money. It's been a big thing that the Bears are going to come in with the most cap space in the NFL, over $100 million, and that's before some of these cuts that we're going to talk about.
So we're going to, just to let everyone know, we're using the SpotTrack website. Give the shout out to SpotTrack. They deserve some credit here. They currently have them at $117.6 million.
Okay, so our starting point is $117.6 million.
Yep.
That's with factoring in the contracts that are expiring this year.
Correct.
And money coming off their
now,
cap.
Looking at the current roster that's going to be under contract for 2023, there are 32 players that will be under contract.
Okay. We might cut some of them to add more cap.
Correct.
But then those are more bodies. Correct. We're not going to go to that level. I mean, we're not going to try to get our roster up to like the 90 you bring in a training camp.
No. We're going to focus. I mean, we're going to add some. I'm not going to worry about back end players, but we're going to more focus on like starting depth chart with maybe a few, backups, notable backups.
Okay,
right?
That sounds good.
All right. So the very first guy on the list, right? He's going to be 30 years old next year. He's the top paid guy on the team. His contract is good through 2025. $17 million, Eddie Jackson.
Okay. So, again, we didn't discuss this. And you gave away that it sounds like he's a part of your future for the 2023 Bears, and he's a part of mine as well. Yeah. I'm not cutting Eddie Jackson.
Same.
I think
maybe we restructure his contract, which we can do with this.
Okay.
If I restructure
what does he have left?
Salary. He's got 3 years left.
3 years left. Annual value, is that how they kind of cap?
Yeah, so if we restructured his contract, we would save almost $8 million. But it means they're going to have more dead cap. We're kicking the can down the road.
Okay.
But they have unlimited cap space.
Yeah, so I don't think you do that yet.
Right.
But it would be cool if down the line, if we're strapped for a little bit of money, can we still go back and do that? Because the question would just basically be, would Eddie Jackson want to take a little more years to be a part of what he thinks is... So basically, does he want to be a lifetime Bear and part of like a really good team going forward?
Yeah, it doesn't.
I would. He's shown leadership this year.
Correct.
That's why I want to keep him.
The injury worries me a little bit. When is he going to be back full?
Right.
But it wasn't an Achilles, so.
But I also feel like his value with the Bears is worth more than his value anywhere else.
Correct. Much. Very much so.
All right, we're both keeping the highest paid player.
All right, so the next highest paid player is making $14 million. Also signed through 2025.
I think I know who it is.
He's 31 years old next year.
I'm getting my Hawk Harrelson ready if it's the guy I'm thinking.
And it's Cody Whitehair.
He gone.
I agree.
Yeah, he gone. So how much cap do we get?
All right.
With that cut?
Guys, this does not give us the option to do post-June 1 cuts. We understand we can do post-June 1 cuts. I would post-June 1 cut him. I off the top of my head, I remember, if I recall correctly, he saves $9 million with a post-June 1 cut. Releasing him now.
So this will be a little more conservative number.
Yeah. Okay. Releasing him just straight up gives us another almost $5.7 million.
Okay. So $5.7 million.
In our minds,
added to the
think 9, but we're not even going to get to $0 on our salary cap, so it's not going to.
We're not concerned about that, but they're going to make a lot of money by cutting Whitehair.
Yes.
He's up there in age. It's time for an O-line overhaul.
Yes. A position we said we need is a demolition, but I know you're high on this guy.
Don't say it.
The third highest paid player on this team next year.
He deserves it.
Justin Jones.
Keep your Justins all around. We like our Justins. We like our Justin Fields.
Yes.
We like our Justin Jones. I think I'm all right.
He's only, $7.4 million. That seems like a lot, but it's only one more year. So this is his prove it year.
True. Okay. Dude, 32 players is not that many.
No, and we're down to 31.
Right. We're keeping Justin Jones?
Yeah, we're keeping him.
All right.
Lucas Patrick is number 4 on this list. $5.3 million.
If you've listened to this show, I think you know that we both want to cut his ass.
Yes.
I don't know if the Bears will.
I don't know if
came
the
in with
Bears
Getsy.
will either. But
It's our decision.
I'm going to pull this up really quick. If I recall, his dead cap is like nothing. Give me 1 second while I pull this up.
Okay. Give me the number, and if I'm impressed by the number it gets us, then
all right.
Then
so
bring it
his
back to
dead cap is $1.4 million. You're going to save basically $4 million next year by cutting him.
Okay. Well,
like, is he worth?
here you go.
Yeah. No. To me, like, I
$4
think
million. You could get 2 pieces with that.
exactly. Okay. So Lucas Patrick, sorry, bud. Injuries hurt you.
And bad performance.
And bad performance hurt you. The next one on the list, I don't know if we can keep this guy, if I'm being honest. He's going to make $5.1 million. He's signed through 2026. He's only going to be 24 next year, though.
What are you talking about?
Justin Fields.
Oh. Oh, boy. Well, the podcast is over.
We're cut. You guys have already signed off if you think I'm cutting Justin Fields,
no,
right?
he's good to go. We're keeping him.
All right, this one I know we're getting rid of. Gosh, this is crazy. Yes, how are we getting rid of it? But
just tell me
Al-Quadin Muhammad is gone.
Did not work out. Which, by the way, let me just say something here. I'm a Ryan Poles supporter. Because of cutting a guy like Patrick, who he signed, a guy like Muhammad, who he signed, doesn't make me believe he's bad at signing free agents.
No, and let's be
honest.
honest.
This was a very strange situation.
They brought in Lucas Patrick because of Luke Getsy. They brought in Al-Quadin Muhammad because of Matt Eberflus.
Right.
Like,
and they might have served roles in that way behind closed doors.
Let's think about it. Like, Ryan Poles knew that they weren't winning anything this year.
Absolutely.
So,
how much did we get from Muhammad?
Goodbye. $4 million.
Good. We'll take it.
We are up to $131 million, by the way.
With some of the free agents I'm targeting, we might need a little more.
Yeah. So, okay. I'm to the point now where I'm probably not going to cut very many other people.
I still got one.
But let's keep going. Okay. Cairo Santos.
That's my one.
Okay. He is the next highest paid player.
I've seen enough. I don't know how I'm going to replace him. I just seen enough. And, well, tell me the money, though. If it's not worth it.
Well, I mean, I know he's had a couple bad games. He keeps missing extra points, which is very frustrating.
Extra points.
But at the same time,
he can't do kickoffs anymore.
Right.
And he hasn't ever really had the distance.
Yeah, so he's slotted to make $3.2 million. If we cut him, his dead cap's 1.5. That's pretty high to be paying a kicker to not be on the team. I mean, that's like Cody Parkey cut money.
All right, we're keeping him.
I think we keep him, but not.
Here's You're bringing in competition.
You're bringing in competition,
yes, right?
Competition. Yeah, let's do it that way.
All right. So he's on watch.
He's on the bubble.
All right. So basically, I don't have the list in front of me. You do. We came in with 32. We already cut 3, so we're down to 29, and it's not significant money we're talking here.
Right.
So do you think, for the most part, we're keeping those other guys? You can cut them down the line if you wanted to.
I do. Okay. I mean, let's just quickly. I'm not even going to do numbers.
Go quick. Go quick.
Trevor Siemian, I think he's a serviceable backup. Yep. Keep him. Cole Kmet obviously staying. Tevin Jenkins is staying. Jalen Johnson is staying. Kyler Gordon is staying. Alex Leatherwood, he's still signed, and it's not. He's staying, right?
Of course,
not costing them anything. $1.9 million.
He might be part of your moving on from Cody Whitehair.
Yeah. Jaquan Brisker obviously staying. Chase Claypool staying. Velus Jones is staying. Travis Gibson staying. Kendall Vildor staying. Mooney, Borum, Khalil Herbert, Braxton Jones. I mean, all these guys are staying.
Yep. Okay. So our big cuts to review real quick. Whitehair gets us about $5 million. Realistically, probably more close to $9 million. Mohammed is getting us $4 million. Lucas Patrick cut is another $4 million.
Yeah.
So what's our new total?
We are at,
and it's a conservative total, but over
$131 million.
$131 million. Okay.
All right. Now we need to discuss free agents.
Well, no, re-signing.
I'm sorry. Players who are going to be free agents.
I see. On the Bears' current roster.
Correct. That's just their players first. Okay.
Okay. I got one I really want to talk about right away.
Byron Pringle. We bringing him back?
I say no.
I say no. In fact, if we're going to go after anybody in free agency, wide receiver wise, who used to play on the Chiefs, let's go get McCole Hardman.
Okay.
Okay. If he doesn't re-sign with Kansas City. Angelo Blackson, nah. He's done nothing to me worth bringing back. I mean, if we're bringing him back,
and see how many D-line we still have. But
sure. If we're bringing him back, he's one of those guys that I said, like, we're not going to discuss.
Okay, yeah.
Back-end roster guy.
Good point.
Here's the one. David Montgomery.
All right. What do you got? You want me to go or you want to go?
I'm bringing him back if the price is reasonable.
That's literally what I wrote. I said, if the price is right. However, I have another stipulation.
Okay.
If the price is right and if they can't sign Saquon Barkley.
Okay.
I think Saquon Barkley, I've been hearing that rumor that it's a match made in heaven, and like now I can't stop thinking about what Saquon Barkley with Justin Fields would look like. Now, I understand the type of position we're talking about, but Saquon looks like he's recovered from that injury, in which case he now is one of the top 3 backs in the league. Top 5. So my whole thing is I like Montgomery. I like him in this system. I'd want him back at the right cost if you can't land Saquon Barkley.
Okay. I can get behind that. I guess then we kind of have to fast forward then. Or do we pause?
Hold off.
And
let's see what he's getting.
We're going to hit the free agency. We're going to let him hit test free agency.
Okay, and we have to re-sign him if we're going to bring him back.
We're going to have to let him exactly. So like he gets to test free agency. It's not like we're going to re-sign him before.
So what we're going to use, it won't show other teams trying to get free agents, will it?
No, it's not like a simulator.
Okay.
However, there's a huge amount of running backs going to be available.
Well,
Saquon Barkley
and Josh Jacobs,
Kareem Hunt, Rashad Penny, Jamal Williams is having a good year. Josh Jacobs. Let's see. Nobody else stands out to me. But those guys,
those are big names.
Miles Sanders.
Wow.
Not a huge name, but even Jerick McKinnon's playing well for Kansas City.
When you say all those names, where would you put David Montgomery if you're another team and you have all those options you just said and you have David Montgomery? He fits kind of like in the middle, doesn't he?
Yes.
So
yeah,
we'll see. He's a Bear. He always has been. He's a great fit.
Yeah.
But if you can upgrade.
In fact, I don't even see David Montgomery on the list. Oh, Jeff Wilson is going to be one.
He's showing up still on our.
No, he's just. I'm on a different thing here.
Okay.
Tony Pollard is going to be available.
Whoa.
James Robinson.
All right. We might throw a little bit of our 130s at a running back.
Now, let's just to give an idea. They have David Montgomery's market value at $9.7 million per year. It's a little bit more than I was thinking. I was in the $6 to $8 million range.
Okay. What do they have for Barkley?
Saquon is at.
I have an estimate. I'm thinking 12. If it's any less,
it's exactly 12 million.
Okay, so he's 12. Oh,
like, is he worth $3 million more? Like, I think so.
I think so as well. So we'll get there, but you see my point?
Yeah.
Okay, so Montgomery, if.
All right. Let's get back to the.
Yeah. Who else?
Riley Reif. Nah.
See ya.
Armand Watts. Maybe. Like, I would take Watts over Blackson.
Okay.
Nicholas Morrow. I mean, maybe if
probably because we said there's only one that we want to keep.
Right.
Then you probably have to keep a guy like Morrow.
Right. Ryan Griffin. I mean, he's been dealing with injury. Has barely played. N'Keal Harry. Are you bringing him
want
back?
Harry. Okay. I want to bring Harry over ESB.
Okay.
I guess ESB blocks, but
I clicked on it. How do I?
Okay. Oh, I mean, if you agree with that,
I'm fine with N'Keal Harry because he's barely had a chance.
Right.
And maybe that's because he's not doing well in practice. I mean, he dealt with the injury early on, but it depends. I mean, as long as we're not overpaying him, and I don't think anyone's going to overpay him at this point.
So when you click bring him back, then
we'll
estimate?
Have to sign them and give them a dollar amount.
Okay, but it's coming out of our 131.
Correct. So okay, so we have him listed. Patrick Scales, I'm fine with bringing the long snapper back.
Of course, yeah. Scales is back.
Matt Adams, linebacker.
Mm-hmm. See,
I'm not going to worry about that.
He's replacement level,
right? I'm not going to worry about that for our thing. Dane Cruikshank, I'm not bringing back. DeAndre Houston Carson, that's a. I like him.
I like him, and we saw when injuries and other things hit, he came in and
I'll give him a little bit of a pay raise.
All right, Houston Carson's back.
Kari Blasingame.
Got to bring him back.
I like the fullback.
Of course.
We bring him back Trayvon Wesco.
Nah.
Sam Mustipher. He's a restricted free agent.
All right. So I thought about this. I know you're just like automatic cut. You wanted to cut him this whole time. I'm keeping him.
I'm not.
For depth, right?
I am.
Okay.
Yes.
All
Yes.
right.
Because we cut Patrick.
And he shouldn't have been your starter.
Right. If we kept Lucas Patrick, Mustipher's gone.
So, wow, I can't believe it. But yes, we're bringing Mustipher
And he's
back.
played very well since he got benched and came back.
Okay.
Not very well, but well.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, okay. I thought I was going to have to convince you of that one.
Nope, not at all. Dakota Dozier. Dante Pettis. Michael Schofield.
No.
Mike Pennell.
No.
Okay, Joe Thomas.
Replacement level.
Yeah, Josh Blackwell. He's an.
Don't worry about it.
He's a restricted free agent anyway. He'll be here.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna add him because he'll be back. Eastland, he's also a restricted free agent. He'll be back. Those guys are just minimum salary cap guys.
Okay. So did it adjust? Oh, you got to do that separately.
We'll put the values in here in just a second. Taco Charlton. He's only played for a little bit, but I would keep him maybe over some of those other guys. We bringing back Nathan Peterman as our QB3?
No, actually.
Okay, I agree with you. We mentioned it in one of the up there episodes. You brought it up.
So, I mean, I already forgot his name. Pace said you draft a quarterback every year, and then he never did it, except for the one time he messed it up. Well, sorry, he took Fields, but he messed it up with Trubisky, I felt.
Thanks for that one, Pace.
Yes, well, that'll live on in his legacy. I feel like you do have to take one every year. You get enough picks, and you find a guy. And when I say take one, even if it's undrafted, bring someone in.
Yes.
Look at what's going on in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Mr. Irrelevant leading a playoff team.
Is he the best Mr. Irrelevant to date?
Well, I think they need to just get rid of that term because clearly he's not, and clearly Sanborn, who was even...
Well, that's what's even funnier is how many undrafted free agents.
Right. Yeah. Right? So, I mean, I guess I'd rather be the last guy and get a nickname than the second to last. And
yeah, exactly. All right, so N'Keal Harry, we got to give him a contract value. What are we giving him? $2 million?
Sure.
$1 million? I don't even know what he's making now.
$2 million sounds
reasonable.
He hasn't
maybe
proven anything. All right, I trust you. I mean, well, if you put something unreasonable, does it not accept it, or
no? It'll take it.
Yeah, we don't want to be unrealistic.
$300,000 if we wanted to.
Nah.
Patrick Scales, he's probably going to make the vet minimum. So that I don't know what it is going to be next year. We'll just make it. It's probably around $1 million.
Okay.
DeAndre Houston Carson, he's probably 1.5, right?
Okay.
He deserves a bit of a promotion. Blasingame.
What do top fullbacks make?
Good question.
No more than 2, right?
Yeah. We'll also make him 1.5.
Okay. Hopefully we're not lowballing, but we already said that the number is probably a conservative number anyway.
Exactly.
So
Sam Mustipher, we probably got to give him 2. He's been a starter, maybe even 2.5.
Give him 2.5. Let's overestimate a couple, underestimate a couple. We'll land in the middle.
Joshua Black. All right, we're gonna. Oops. I'll just wrap these last ones up because their salaries don't really matter.
We're already. Oh no! Now we got to talk about free agents we're bringing in. Are we gonna do? We can get that in before the break, and then just come in draft the second part.
Hold on, I did something wrong. I gave these guys $15 million and $25 million. I was like, how did our money get down to $57 million?
So even giving them $15 million contracts, we still have a decent amount.
I gave Sam Mustipher a $25 million.
Okay, now you're getting crazy because you went from not wanting him on the team at all to paying him Mahomes money. So
all right, so we're at $120 million.
Okay, now we're at $120 million after our re-signings.
Yes.
Okay.
Now let's look at
who we were bringing in.
All teams. Who do we want?
Okay, well...
I'm not going to, go through names.
No. I have a guy.
Okay.
It's my guy, man. Deron Payne.
Yep.
Really big on him.
Yep.
I think he's only 25, 26 maybe?
He's 25. He will be 26 next year.
I mean, his style of play fits exactly what we haven't seen from the Bears. And obviously he's going to depend... And let's point something out for the listeners. Free agency comes before the draft. in real life. So that's why we're doing it in this order. So to me, you don't know what you're going to get in the draft if you're going to land a guy like Jalen Carter, but you got to address that position probably in both the free agency and the draft. Yep. I think he's a clear fit. So what's a good contract for him? You do it as we go? Or
these ones I can probably get market value for because they're actual guys here.
I wrote something down that I saw in an article. I don't know if it's accurate, but like a 5-year deal for $70 million coming out to 14 annual average. And let's also mention
14.2 is what they have his market at. So let's bump it because we're going to have to overpay.
Okay, go 15.
I'm going to go 15.5.
15.5.
We're not going to mess around with money.
No,
not at this position.
You have more than other teams. And let's be clear, if you overpay for some free agents, but it puts you closer and closer to playoffs and to a championship, we'll take it.
Right.
So put him at 15.5. I like that, going a little over. Now you throw out a name.
So one guy that I would be really excited about getting potentially, and again, let's also say not all these guys are going to make it to free agency. Teams are going to keep guys. Teams are going to tag guys. I think Payne could get there because they have other needs and they don't have a huge salary cap.
Yep.
But as much as I like Braxton Jones and as much as I'm like, let's see what's there in the draft, I would love them to sign Orlando Brown.
Wow. So I wrote his name down, but then when I looked up what a potential contract would be, it was over $100 million is what I saw.
Yeah.
For a 5-year deal.
Yeah.
So when I saw that, I then did not put him on my list.
Yeah, they have him at 5 years, $112 million, $22.4 million a year.
But he's only 25.
He's 26.
26, and you anchor your left tackle situation.
You're putting him at 31, 32 when he retires, or when he's next to his contract.
And who knows if these guys get to the end of their contracts.
Yeah. But 32 isn't old for an offense.
So I guess what we have to talk about for the listeners, and you and I will have to come to agreement, do you put it all in on a guy like Orlando Brown, or do you go for a little older, not as high value, but cheaper, like a Jack Conklin?
I was just going to bring his name up.
Okay.
So let's see what they got his market value at. Because that was maybe, like, I wanted him the last time he was available when he was coming out of Tennessee, and he went to Cleveland, and he is one of the best right tackles in the league. Jack Conklin, currently making $14 million a year. He is 28.
Okay, 28 years old.
Because of his age, they're expecting him to sign a shorter contract.
Okay.
They're expecting him to hit $2 million, 22.7.
2 years?
2 years, 22.7.
Okay.
11.3 average.
So half of what Orlando Brown's will.
I like that.
And half the contract length.
Because then maybe you continue to build through the draft.
Exactly. That's what Pohl says he wants to do.
Yeah.
I don't want them, I mean, having the most money and having over $100 million sounds awesome, but you start chewing that up right away with a $22 million guy.
We saw him this year, and he was very strategic, but I don't think he's just going to nosedive right into, the top end guys right away. I mean, certain players, yes, but I think he's going to be very strategic.
Okay. So did I just talk you out of Brown?
You did.
All right.
Because I also had Conklin in the back of my mind.
Got it.
And I think Brown will go, faster, right? Like, he's going to be that first wave guy.
Right.
And then Conklin might be, in that second wave. So let's grab him.
I got another O-lineman that I would like to see them go after.
And if they're saying 11.3, we'll just go 12.5.
Okay, 12.5. So 2 signings right now. One at 15.5, one at 12.5.
We're still at 92 million.
28 million. We're at what?
92 million.
92 million. Okay. Well, I already said I want to go after Barkley. Let's see what he'll cost.
Well, we said 12 is what
12.
they're showing their market at. So if we up it.
We might not have to, but.
Might not have to. 12 million is a lot for
12's a lot. It's a lot for running back. So let's just say that's what he's going to get for the best situation.
Let's just say 12.
And he sees the Bears as the best situation. I mean.
And here's the thing, listeners. If we don't get him at 12, think about it. We're going to get Montgomery at like 8 to 10.
Right.
Okay. So I would prefer 6 to 8, personally.
Yeah. Okay. Hometown discount?
Yes.
We're going Barkley, though. The splash move.
Barkley.
Can you imagine Barkley and then Herbert backing him up?
Yeah. Whew.
Okay. So we're going to get him at 12. So we're at a cool $80 million left.
If I can find the New York Giants.
Now that money will also have to go to signing draft picks and things like that, right? I mean, this is total cap space.
Yes, this is total cap space. Signing like draft picks, I think, is probably going to be like around 7-8 million.
So I mentioned there's another offensive lineman that I'm targeting. I think you can get him cheaper. Well, cheaper than Conklin even. That's Elgton Jenkins from Green Bay.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to have the cap space to keep
guard.
him.
Yep.
He can play guard or tackle.
Yeah.
And what I was seeing is you might be able to get him for like a 3-year at like maybe $7 million per year. And with the flexibility of being able to play guard or tackle, we don't know, where you're going to need a guy. We don't know where Leatherwood is going to play. We don't know where Braxton Jones should play.
Right.
But if you can get a bunch of guys who have potential.
I mean, Leatherwood could end up being your right tackle, and then you don't even have to spend the money on Conklin.
Right. Okay.
Hopefully we can figure that out, now, like over the last 4 weeks.
True.
Yeah, they have him at 3 years, 21 million, so 7 million. Basically,
is that a guy you like?
I do. I think that, to me, this is very similar to the Lucas Patrick signing, maybe a little bit of an upgrade.
Right.
And you're throwing him in at guard. It leaves you still open at center.
We're still open at center. I don't know what the draft. I haven't scouted.
There's some
centers.
guys in the draft that you can get later. Centers usually fall. But I feel like we need to find one.
In free agency?
Yeah.
You
At least a body. I don't actually off the top of my head. So
I've heard a name.
Look really quick. Hold on.
But I don't know if the team he's on will not re-sign him. I forgot his name, actually. But I know the team.
We're going to just grab center here quick.
Okay.
Let me...
While you're doing that, we address part of the D-line with Payne. Do you want to also see them go after an end?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to write some stuff down. So we still think in free agency they'll need a D end. We didn't talk about this yet, but I think they need a receiver. We didn't mention one yet, right?
No.
A receiver, a D end, and you're looking up center right now. Center. I think veteran linebackers, veteran corners, although some of those could be the guys we talked about on the bottom of the roster that you bring back.
Yeah. So, let's see. Kelsey is not going anywhere.
No, he's not.
Bradley Bozeman's not a good fit, unfortunately.
So who is Minnesota's center? That was the name I heard.
Garrett Bradbury.
So I think his contract's up, but I don't know that Minnesota wouldn't re-sign him. I think he's fairly young still.
Yeah, he's only 27. I have a feeling he'll get re-signed.
Okay.
Connor McGovern, he'll probably get re-signed in Dallas.
So the list you're looking at are people who are coming up on free agency.
Correct.
But some are unrestricted, some are restricted.
Yeah. To be honest, it's not that great of a free agency situation. So
yeah, let's just...
That could mean that Lucas Patrick might be staying.
Okay, so we cut him, but we can go... It's the same thing as renegotiating his deal.
Yeah, exactly. We can bring him back. Kyle Fuller, but not the Kyle Fuller. Out of Seattle.
I was going to say, put on some weight.
No one's really standing out to me. Nick Barton.
All right, well, let's move on to some other positions then. Maybe we're not going to be able to land our center in free agency. What about Kramer? Not ready to make that leap to starter? Nah. Might have Mustafa again then.
Right. I mean,
with better pieces around him.
That's true, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. And Justin Fields speaks highly of him for some reason.
So Mustafa, and then we're going to look in the draft probably.
Yeah. All right, let's get to defensive end. And I think we know, because we've talked about this guy once before, not on the air, but used to be in Jacksonville. Then the Colts traded for him, I think.
I'm not sure.
I want to say it was a trade.
Sounds familiar.
And I'm going to butcher his name, so I'm going to let you say it.
Yannick Ngakwe?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so he was the name I wrote down, but then I also put or similar D end. Yeah. I mean, I'm not like it's got to be him as much as I was for like a guy like Payne.
Sure, exactly. So just some couple names.
Okay, what are some other names?
Throw out there. Jadavion Clowney is going to be available. Ashawn Robinson. Larry Ogunjobi's going to be back. Clellan Ferrell, like he was the first round pick, but hasn't really lived up to anything.
Right, maybe it does have to be Ngakwe.
Justin Houston, I know he's older, but still putting up numbers.
So what are the values of these guys? We're at about 90 mil.
Dante Fowler. Okay, so he's currently making $13 million a year, and they're saying he's going to get bumped up to almost 15.
I mean, is he the top guy?
4 years, $60 million. I think he's one of the top guys.
So get the top interior D line, get the top outside. You got to. This team's had nothing, so we're gonna go after him. 15 mil, 16.
Yeah, let's see what that puts us at here.
I'm fine after this one, just going after a receiver, and then figuring any corners, any linebackers. Those will be low filler depth type of guys.
Where do you go?
Another team signed him?
Yeah.
Got to overpay in free agency.
All right, 15 million. We still have 57 million left.
Wait a minute. I thought we were around 80. Oh, but maybe
I was at 72.
Maybe I didn't include Jenkins.
Yeah, that put us from 82 to 75. 80 to 72-ish.
Okay. It's probably right. I might have just missed one. All right, so huge upgrades already.
Yeah, so let's quickly look at wide receiver.
And then take a break?
And then we'll take a break. And then,
wide receiver, sorry.
Yeah.
I got a guy.
So
you might have one.
I mean, I already mentioned McCole Hardman.
Okay.
Did play with Justin Fields in Georgia. Before he transferred to Ohio State.
Okay.
Not like a top end, name, but guys who were here. These are like all the guys that were here last year. DJ Chark,
Juju Smith-Schuster.
Smith-Schuster's again available. Jacoby Myers might be available out of New England. Alan Lazard.
Okay.
Jarvis Landry. A lot of the same names.
Until you said Hardman, my mind was on Juju. Why don't we take the person we think we get at a better price?
We're going to get Hardman at a better price.
Okay, what's Hardman going to be?
Hardman is probably going to be around 4 and 5 million.
Really?
Oh no! Wow, I was way.
I had Juju at 11.
They have Hardman at 11. But here's the thing: they did this last year too, and wide receivers did not get paid.
Okay.
Like Juju Smith-Schuster is making $3.7 million.
Okay, so they don't know. The market sets itself.
Correct.
So
and
let's try to land a guy at 7.
Yeah, I don't see McCole Hardman getting paid more than 7.
Okay.
And I know he's in Kansas City, but like his stats right now, I mean,
and let's be honest, he's not the upgrade that we're talking about. Like
no. And he has only 4 touchdowns on the year.
3 were in one game.
25 catches for 300 yards.
Okay.
I'm not paying him $11 million.
Let's go 6.
All right, so we'll just add him and then.
Okay. So we're going Hardman. So your wide receiver room is Mooney, Claypool, Hardman, Harry. I'm probably forgetting somebody. Oh, Bayless.
Bayless.
Oh man. I hope by next year he's not someone we forget. All right, so I think we did a decent job. I mean, there's obviously some minor things that could sway things one way or another, but basically we addressed some of the major areas. D-line with both Payne and Ngakwe. O-line with Jenkins and Conklin. And as a little bonus, going after a guy like Saquon Barkley could really change the complexity of your offense. And we landed a receiver in Hardman. And I believe we still have about $50 million in cap space.
We have... Oh, I was on the wrong screen. 51.8.
And I think we're at about 35 players.
sounds about right. I can actually tell you the exact number.
And we might have to bring Patrick back, we decided, but we'll see.
Why is it saying 46? Because I think it's still counting the people that are on here. So, yeah, 45, 44, 43. I'm counting 43.
Okay. Well, I don't know where the number came from, but we'll take a break and then come back and do the draft.
All right. Sounds great.
All right. All right, Halas Huddle listeners, we are back with a very special episode where we are looking ahead to 2023. Rob and I, GM and assistant GM, depending on how we do, teams might start reaching out.
The only problem
I have a day job, but
yeah, me too.
I'll consider offers.
I actually just had my review. It went well.
Nice.
But I've already told them if there's anything football related, I'm out the door.
There you go. They know.
They can't
you put
pay
them
me
on
enough,
notice.
Right? But we won't know how well we do for another couple of years. So, guys, keep this on notice. This is like our game film tape.
Okay.
Right? So then we'll send this out to all 32 teams.
I mean, I was going to say at my age, I could wait a few years to become a GM, but I'm pretty sure Poles is younger than me.
He's younger than me, too.
Oh, boy.
I think he's 38.
We're a little behind, Rob, but hey, it starts now.
That's right.
So you want to tell them what app we're using?
Yeah, so just to recap real quick, we went through the team or through the salary cap, cut guys, added guys. We didn't do any trades. I'm not feeling that. I think there's enough out there.
Our first segment was a little long. I mean,
yeah. Now, if a trade becomes available, say the Arizona Cardinals decide to their team because Kyler Murray's out again next year. Their GM just stepped down today.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Maybe DeAndre Hopkins becomes available.
Okay.
Right.
So here's what we did. We did the best we could.
With the information
information we have, and we still have $50 million flexibility.
Exactly.
So a trade like that is possible.
Exactly.
We're just not going to project it.
Right. So now we're going to go to the Pro Football Network mock draft simulator, and we're going to run through a mock draft based on the decisions that we made. So we know we have a defensive tackle. We know we have a defensive end.
Yes.
We know that we have better offensive linemen.
Yes. And I want to point out that right now, as it stands, we are recording this after Week 13 is completely in the books for all teams.
Yes.
So we're flipping the calendar up to Week 14. Bears, as listeners know, are 3-10. They're currently slotted in.
Week 14's in the books. Pushing it to Week 15.
Oh, my bad.
Yes.
You're right, because the bye. Sorry about that. Going into Week 15 for the entire NFL, Bears are 3-10, tied record-wise with Denver, but Denver has the tiebreaker. We were discussing off the air. I believe the tiebreaker is strength of schedule, and the Bears, unfortunately, have had a very difficult schedule. So I believe they're going to lose a lot of tiebreakers, which is why the whole losing is good kind of thing.
Yeah.
We're going to do this from pick 3, which is where they're currently slotted.
Yeah.
We talked about how they could go anywhere from probably 2 to about 7, realistically.
Yeah. If they win 2 games, they could get into the teens, to be honest, but let's hope that doesn't happen.
I don't know about that.
I think it's the low teens.
All right, so we're going to go with 3.
I mean, it depends on how other teams play out their final 4 games,
of course.
Right?
And some of these teams play each other.
Yeah,
that's why
like
that Carolina win was huge.
Denver,
LA.
Yeah, Denver plays the Rams.
Yep.
So if the Rams beat Denver, if Denver beat the Rams, and they're without Stratford now the rest of the year.
Yeah. Well,
now they got Baker Mayfield.
Mayfield came in and worked some magic, but I don't know if that's going to continue.
No.
So anyway, we're going to go Bears at 3.
Yeah, we're just going to play it as is. So
all right,
this draft started. We are already on the clock and wasted 9 of our 10 minutes.
Oh, really? You can't freeze it?
No, I'm joking.
Oh, okay.
There's no timer. But quarterback went number 1. It was not Bryce Young. It was C.J. Stroud.
Okay.
Defensive end went number 2. I don't agree with it. He is the second best defensive end in my opinion. But like Justin, we saw this a little bit off air. Maybe the scheme fit is a thing here because Will Anderson is not going number 2. It's Miles Murphy.
Okay.
All right. Which Miles Murphy would be a better scheme fit for the Bears.
I know. I was actually excited about if we were to trade back our pick to get him.
Right.
Even though we was talking about Will Anderson, we were talking about Carter.
Right.
So now I'm bummed, but that's okay.
But now we're at 3.
We're at 3.
Bryce Young is still out there. There's quarterback needy teams. Okay.
So we are dealing.
We got 2 calls.
All right.
In right now.
Phone's ringing.
We got.
What's the first call?
We got the Detroit Lions calling in. They want to swap picks. They're at 4, so we'd move back 1 spot.
1 spot.
and they don't want to give us their first rounder, we can renegotiate
because they have 2 firsts.
Right. We can counter offer to see if they'll give us their other first. They want to give us their second round pick at number 46.
All right.
That's not enough for me.
No, that's not enough.
I would see if they'd want to counter offer, but let's see what the other call is.
All right, but can I ask you,
Yeah.
and I don't know if you can tell this from this right now, what are they projecting that second first? Because that one, the 4 that they're trading is actually the Rams pick that
Correct.
they got for
so
Stanford.
their other first round pick is number 15.
Okay.
So we would get
That helps
4
me.
and 15.
4 and 15, I might do. But let's hear what our other offer was.
So our other offer, it's the Indianapolis Colts.
Okay.
Okay, they're looking for a quarterback, right? They are currently pick number 7, so we would move down, 4 spots?
Okay.
And we'd be picking number 7, but they want to give us their second round pick at number 38.
Okay.
They want to give us their pick at 138, which I think is a 5th rounder off
Okay.
the top of my head. But they also want to give us a future 2024 first round pick.
All right. So now and this is the Colts?
This is the Colts. And we got to think big picture here. We're a GM in our first year going into our second.
Right. Getting another first next year.
Do we see if the Lions accept our counter? Which
Okay.
would you rather have?
So
Would you
let's
rather
talk this
have
out.
4 and 15?
If you go 4 and 15, they're trading up to get a quarterback, we think? Or because they're talking about how they like golf. I don't know how sophisticated this simulator
they're
is.
not. I mean, it's not that sophisticated.
Okay,
right?
so we think they'll take a quarterback, and then we pick right away after that.
Right.
So you could, we signed Payne. Does that mean you don't go after Jalen? Oh, we'd go Will Anderson.
We could go Will Anderson. We could go Jalen Carter here.
But that's what I was going to ask. But with Payne, do you not feel as necessary?
I mean, we also signed
Justin Jones.
I can't say his name.
Ngakwe.
Ngakwe.
I
Right?
don't know if that's right, but okay.
We also signed him too. So, I feel like
Payne's a little younger. We think he's okay. So what do you do with the 15 is my question.
receiver.
So I was thinking you either go stud defender and then at 15 stud receiver,
Mm-hmm.
or you go stud D line at 4 and try to get a stud O line at 15. I don't know if that's going to work out.
Either or. I would take best player available at offensive line or receiver.
Okay, but this is if we can renegotiate with Detroit and they take it.
And we also have to think about the fact we're giving them the opportunity to put Bryce Young in our division.
True.
So we have not done this yet, but I hope, and they better, Ryan Poles and Ian Cunningham better scout these quarterbacks, because if they think Bryce Young is the next Justin Fields type quarterback, you do not want to trade right now
To your division rival.
into your division rival.
That
You
already
would
is
rather him
on
go
on the rise
to the Colts.
Okay.
So do we see if they accept our counter? Would you rather, first of all,
So
would you
if we
rather
offer it and if they accept it's just a deal, or
Yes.
they? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you
Well, anyway,
can't.
sorry. Finish your thought.
We can't go back. So that's the thing right now. Do you want the next year's first round pick and still getting number 38 is basically the end of the first round,
A little into the second,
very high in the
Yeah.
second.
which is what they gave away for Roquan.
Correct. So you're
You're
basically getting your
recouping your
second
Roquan
round
pick.
pick back and a 5th and next year's first.
Okay, so who do we think is going to be there at 7? Not Will Anderson.
There could be a receiver. There could be an offensive lineman.
Okay. Both of those are high position needs.
Jalen Carter, it came out today.
Okay.
He's got some off the field issues.
Okay. All right.
Could it be a George Pickens situation and he starts to drop?
So you kind of convinced me of keeping it out of the division,
Okay.
and we don't know if they would take the other one. What would they ask for? Would they ask for another pick?
I mean, we could throw in a late round pick just to make the
True.
deal happen too.
But getting that first the following year could be big.
Yeah.
You're the team that now has 2 firsts.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go with the Colts deal.
All right. Sorry, Detroit.
We ain't sorry. So Colts at
Bryce
3
Young went. Okay, so Bryce Young went.
to the Colts.
I was right. Okay, Bryce Young went, and then the Lions took a cornerback. That doesn't make sense to me. Trenton Simpson went to the Eagles. Will Anderson went 6th to Alabama.
So we just missed him by 1, just like the Bears missed Aaron Donald by 1.
First of all, that's not going to happen, guys. Will Anderson is not going to be a number 6 pick. He's going to be a top 5 pick, guaranteed.
They're going to match him up with Hutchinson's?
He doesn't fit their scheme, though, either.
That's true. Okay. So who do we have at 7? We could go Jalen Carter.
So we can go Jalen Carter. We could go offensive lineman. Peter Skoronski is, my opinion, the number 1 lineman,
Okay.
but he's got short arms, so he might not fit at tackle. He might have to go inside. He's not going to be a left tackle in the NFL, in my opinion. Well, I shouldn't say that. Rashawn Slater, also same school.
Same size.
He had a little bit longer, 33-inch.
Okay. I don't know about their arms. I'm just talking about height, weight.
Yeah, so 33-inch plus for Slater. Skoronski's not even a 30 at 33 inches. And everyone says 34 is like the key number for.
So I hinted last week, for those loyal listeners, if this was Madden, I could wheel and deal and make all sorts of things happen. Could you trade down again?
We could.
Okay.
So we have 3 offers on the
Let's
table
hear these offers then for the number 7 pick.
So Carolina was at number 9. They want to move up from 9 to 7. They want to give us a 2024 first and pick 143, which is, again, I think a 5th-round pick.
But we still have the 38. And we still have our own second. Or no, the other traded second.
Baltimore second, which is like probably in the 50s to 60s at that point.
But we get there 9 too?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So we're moving from 7 to 9.
Oh,
we're moving down 2 more spots.
Okay. You didn't say that at first.
Yeah.
Okay. What are the other offers?
Atlanta wants to go from 10, so we'd move from 7 to 10. They're also giving us a first, but then also a 2024 fourth.
A first next year as well?
Yep.
Okay.
And a 2024 fourth. And the Cowboys want to give us theirs at pick 27. I'm not.
That's too late, but
not even thinking about it. They want to give us a first, second, and fourth next year, but that's not enough for me.
So if we drop to 9, we're only going down to only 2 players will come off the board. We're getting another first round next year.
And another pick this year.
Okay.
I think that's
I'm sold.
Now, at some point, I feel like
you got to make your
trading down is going to multiple times going to become unrealistic. But I think 2 is.
Let's do it twice.
We could be the New England Patriots.
We'll do it twice. Because you want to make a pick here. Guys are going to come off the board who you're thinking about.
Yeah, so the first offensive tackle that came off, this was the other guy I was thinking was Paris Johnson. I'm going to actually just go ahead and ignore the...
Paris Johnson went?
Yeah.
Okay. The trade offers?
Yeah, so Jalen Carter is still available.
So we have 9.
Peter Skoronski is still available.
Okay. Wow.
And then every wide receiver. To be honest, I just think Jalen Carter to me is, and I know they're saying off the field issues, but he's a generational talent.
Yeah, and I do feel a little bit more comfortable addressing O-line through free agency.
Yeah.
And Poles wants to build through the draft. You build through the draft by getting the stud.
Yeah.
If you can get one.
Right.
So we're taking Jalen Carter.
Yeah.
All right. I like it. The D-line just got a lot better.
Oh.
A lot better.
Easily.
Jalen Carter, Deron Payne, and Ngakwe already. Okay, so we take Jalen Carter.
The Packers took a first-round wide receiver, Quentin Johnson.
That's who I was thinking if we could have gotten that 15.
Yeah, see, I'm more of
and where'd he go? What
Packers.
No, but what pick?
14.
Okay, so 15 wouldn't have gotten him.
Yeah, Jordan Addison is actually my top receiver.
Okay, so our next pick's coming up at 38, I believe, from the Colts.
Yeah, now I didn't think about it. I could have paused it, and we could have tried to trade up.
Oh.
Would you have wanted to do that?
I mean, I like a lot of the receivers, but I'm more about acquiring the picks and finding the guys.
Right.
So, okay, so we got a stud. We got one of the best guys in the draft at 9.
Yes.
We acquired 2 first rounds in 2024.
Yep.
If the Bears keep theirs, they have 3 first rounders next year. Or we talked about, what are you going to have to give up to get a DeAndre Hopkins or some receiver we don't even know to be thinking about right now?
Right.
You have multiple firsts.
Right.
You have an option. Okay. So we just stashed those. All right, what do we got? We're on the clock?
We're on the clock at pick number 38. We're getting a phone call right now from the Atlanta Falcons, who are at 40. They want to move up 2 picks, and they want to give us a 2020, their number 40 pick, right? So we'd move down 2
spots.
And a 2024 fourth that they tried to offer us earlier. But there's a guy on the board here that I really there's actually 2 guys here that I like to kind of solve our linebacker situation.
Okay. Who do you got?
Henry Tuoto from Alabama.
Okay.
Or Tommy Eichenberg from Ohio State.
I'm going to take a look here. I'm running a little ranking sheet over here.
But if we look at wide receiver, because we did mention we might have to go there. Josh Downs is here, and then Jalen Hyatt is going to be the guy, and he might not even be here at this point out of Tennessee.
Why is he still available?
Because he's one of those guys, like an up-and-comer. Like, we have a lot of time between now and the draft. Or the draft. It's kind of a one-year wonder. You're going to Tennessee again, where Bayless Jones was.
Yeah.
Different style player, though. Definitely a better receiver.
So my rankings here, I don't know if this is a formidable thing. NFLDraftBuzz.com, probably not.
Yeah, no, I've read this stuff. Yeah.
Where do you think they have?
I already know
Jalen
because
Hyatt
I've used their website.
receiver?
They have it number 1.
He's the number 1.
Yeah, I'm not on board with that at all.
Okay, but if he's around at pick 38,
right?
Maybe he's a good pick there.
Yes.
So I'd be okay with that. You also mentioned Josh Downs, but who were the linebackers you said?
Yeah. So Tuotu. I don't know if I'm saying his name correctly either.
Out of
Alabama. Yeah. And Tommy Eichenberg out of Ohio State.
Well, I mean, I'm always big on going after these guys from big schools, big programs.
But here's the thing.
Either way,
is linebacker a position we can address later in the draft? I kind of feel like it is. I feel like
you got to swing at the receiver.
3rd and 4th rounders are fine for linebacker,
yes.
and wide receivers do not hit as much.
You're right.
All right.
Okay.
So, do you want Josh Downs out of North Carolina, or are we going Jalen Hyatt out of Tennessee? Marvin Mims is also here out of Oklahoma.
So,
out of these guys right now, I have Jalen Hyatt ranked higher.
Okay. I'm going to go Hyatt. I hope they're right on this, but if they're right on this, he won't be there at 38. But let's take him because he is.
All right.
Drafts go a lot of weird ways, different times. You pick what's there.
All right. Before I let the draft keep going, we have another 2nd-round pick here at number 58.
This came from the
Baltimore.
No, it came from the trade of
Roquan Smith.
No, our other guy.
No. This was Roquan.
Yeah, they gave up that pick for Roquan. I'm saying for Robert Quinn.
No, that's a 4th rounder they got.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, so we're still in the 2nd round.
Okay.
They got a 4th for Quinn.
Okay, but the 2nd they got for Roquan, they gave up, right?
No, they gave up their 2nd-round pick for Chase Claypool.
I'm sorry, for Claypool.
Yes.
They gave up the Bears one. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. Brain fart moment there.
No, that's okay.
So it's later because Ravens are
correct. That's what I was saying. They're going to be 50, late 50s to 60s, depending on how the season finishes.
Okay.
Do we want to even consider trading up for anybody?
All right. So you're not going to advance it. What
kind
of players are on the board? What kind of positional needs do we still feel we have? O-line, we've addressed in free agency. We still would potentially want to address it in the draft.
We need to find a center.
Oh, yeah.
Is there anyone worth taking at this point?
I don't think my thing sorts by, it just has O-line. It doesn't let me look at specifically who might play center.
So one of the guys I like really late. Yeah, one of the guys I like really late, not really late, but mid-round is Joe Tippmann out of Wisconsin.
Okay.
The center out of Georgia's here, Cedric Van Pran.
Where is he on the overall list?
They have him ranked 50th here.
Yeah, that's around where we pick.
Yeah, and I'll admit too, my draft knowledge right now is just starting. I just started getting into draft stuff 2 weeks ago, so these names will be off the tongue much later. But right now, it's just going to be kind of a delayed thing. So yeah, he's 50th. I mean, if we look at overall,
that's not moving.
I don't know if we're having a microphone issue.
I hope it's been recording this whole time.
No, the recording is working. It's just the microphone's not showing up here.
All right.
Well, we're going to hope that this is going.
All right. Sorry, you were talking about potential centers. It's a position we have not really addressed.
Yeah, I mean, we could also look at, offensive tackle at this point. We could go to linebacker, Henry 202, if we wanted to try to move up. I don't think he'll drop to 58. There's no one here though that's like
to move up for.
Yeah, not like that jumps off the board at me.
Okay. Let's advance.
All right, we'll keep it going. So Josh Downs went. Mims went. Brandon Joseph went a lot earlier than I was expecting. He's the safety out of Notre Dame, and he's a guy I was hoping to get in the late second, maybe into the third round, somebody that could easily be a replacement. Not a replacement right away, but someone to like learn behind Eddie Jackson. So
are we up?
We are up. We have an offer on the table to move from 58 down to 65 for a 2024 fifth. I'm not going to even consider that.
I'm thinking most trades are already ones we've done.
Yeah.
And then we're going to make our picks, fill out our roster here. So we talked about a center.
Oh, I blanked on the center that I want, and he's available.
Who is it?
Jarrett Patterson, who could play center or guard out of Notre Dame. Definitely a guy to consider. Nolan Smith right now is available too as a defensive end, but I'd have to look in to see if he's a little bit undersized too, so he's going to probably be more of an outside linebacker type.
Excuse me.
Let's see.
I'm going to go back to my list of positional needs. We've definitely addressed the D-line. We've started to address O-line, but still need to.
I'm honestly leaning.
And then we've addressed
Patterson
receiver.
now, because I feel like he might not be there.
Let's do it. All right. Because I think that's the final piece to truly say we've addressed the line.
Yeah, and he's going to push
Mustafa. Okay. So we went with Patterson there?
By the way.
Are they grading us?
By the way.
Uh-oh.
There is something wrong with their description here because they have him at 5'9", 194 pounds. If that's our center, we're screwed.
No. Oh, no.
That's
5'9".
That is not accurate.
Oh, my gosh. So now I don't even know if I would trust their grades.
There we go.
All right. I do grades? This was pick 58?
Yeah.
Okay, what's our next pick?
66. We are almost on the board again.
Is that one we acquired or already had?
This would be our pick. This would
third
be
round
our
pick.
third round
Our
pick.
third round pick,
yes.
66.
We do not have another third round pick. Okay. We do not pick again until the fourth round.
All right. So we got to make this one count.
Yeah.
It could be linebacker.
It could be running back too. Like these are typically around the time when running backs go.
That's true.
Barkley does have injury history.
We'd have Barkley. We'd have Herbert. We'd still have Ebner, I'm guessing.
I mean, Ebner's not like that exciting to me.
Or Darrington Evans.
Yeah. I mean, just something,
so let's
something
to
think about.
Yep, something to think about. If you can get a linebacker.
Yeah, Tank Bigsby's available out of Auburn. Sean Tucker out of Syracuse. Yeah, I mean, no one's here that's like jumping off at me though. So I don't know. All
right, I wouldn't go running back necessarily.
Let's see what else is available.
You can wait for Chase Brown. Illinois.
Yep.
Let's see. We got a center last time. I think a linebacker.
Yeah, I forgot about that. We talked about it and then we didn't go that route.
I think linebacker. But who are the linebackers on the board?
So the guy that I like is still available, but he's probably going to be available into the third. Oh wait, we're in the third.
We're in the third, and we don't have a pick for a while.
Yeah, so Jack Campbell out of Iowa is a guy that I like, but he's more of a middle linebacker. So if you do that, that means you're also moving Sanborn again.
Okay. Who's another? Let's see. I don't have the list updated, but I'm just looking off of like a rankings. I'm assuming it's pretty similar to what that might be.
Here, I'll just read off some of the names that they have. They have Drew Sanders, Owen Popo, Ivan Pace, Jack Campbell, Isaiah Land. Jalen Graham out of Purdue, Steele Chambers out of Ohio State.
Okay, let's see.
Let's see who's available at safety. Malachi Moore out of Alabama. Ronnie Hickman out of Ohio State.
I could see safety. Our next pick after this, after 66, is what?
101.
Oh, boy. Unless we trade back up. But I don't even have the energy to be thinking about those. But we know it's a potential.
Right.
Seems like Poles likes to trade back. But he's not afraid to trade up, I wouldn't
No,
think.
he's not. He's shown that he will.
Okay. So how about this? We think between linebacker and safety, where do you think the bigger need is? I have an opinion.
Linebacker.
I agree. So why don't we take a linebacker here and then wait on safety and see what's there at the 101 pick?
All right. Since I haven't done my research on the other guys, I'm just going to take Campbell.
Okay.
They can figure out where they're going to put him. That's up to the coaching staff.
Yep. I like my Big Ten guys.
Yeah. Well, and Big Ten linebackers, I feel like they do well. I mean, look at Sanborn.
Right. Okay. So Jack Campbell at 66. Now we got to wait a bit to 101. Obviously, if there were players that, if we were more in depth on this and had done a whole lot of scouting, when there's 35 picks between your two picks, and you got assets, you might trade up for people.
Correct.
But we're not going to do that right now. Next, we're hoping for a safety, possibly a running back. After 101, I know we got 138 in a deal, but we might even have another one before that.
We have
probably have two, probably have 133
all right,
and
so
138.
Round 4, we have 101 and 131.
131. So one of those must be the Robert Quinn.
Yes, the 131 is the Robert Quinn pick.
Oh, because it came from the Eagles.
The Eagles.
And we have 133 or 135. I mean,
we have 134,
134,
138,
oh,
and 143.
Wow,
and 157. We have 4 fifth-round picks.
Whew. That's where they made magic happen this year.
And we have no sixth-rounders, and I think we have 1 seventh-rounder. Yeah.
Okay. And 2 firsts in 2024.
Yes.
3 if you keep the Bears. Okay, so 101 is up on the clock.
Yeah. So
what were the safeties that are available?
Safety. Malachi Moore is still here, out of Alabama.
And you were considering him 35 picks ago.
Yeah.
Is he for sure? See, I clicked on this safeties only, and I do not see him already on the 3rd page of safeties. So is it possible they have him as a corner?
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't have him at all. So I'm going to go back to all DBs and see if he's on the list. Oh, yeah. What the heck? They have him as the number 3 corner overall, but that has him as a safety?
Yeah.
6 feet, 190?
Yeah, that's what I have him as.
Okay. Well, if he's a safety there, if he's going to play the safety position, you've already made the case for why it would be a good idea to bring somebody in to learn behind Eddie Jackson,
right,
who will be coming off of a fairly serious injury.
Right. And there's, as a defensive back, there's a lot of times where they get crossed over from safety to corner. So,
well, we talked about a corner to solidify what you're going to do with Gordon, too.
Right.
So if he's a tweener flex position guy,
yeah,
might be a great pick.
All right, I'm going to go with him.
Okay.
All right, that is gone.
And then I think there's just a whole lot of depth this team needs.
Yeah. Do we go back to wide receiver?
See what's there?
Yeah, let's see what's there. Almost our pick again.
Well, somehow I ended up in a different year. And it's telling me we should be drafting Jamar Chase.
Nice.
I agree.
Right? Let's see.
So we're at 131, 134, 138. That's a beautiful situation.
Yeah, we got a lot of guys to go. Like, we should just talk position. Running back, obviously, is still...
Okay.
Oh, you know what we need to do? We talked about it. Do we draft a quarterback?
Let's go. And that's not having faith in Fields. It's always making sure you're stockpiling that position with a young potential.
Right. Now the question is, who?
Okay. We already know the big names are off the board. So how far down on the list are we?
So we got Jaron Hall out of BYU, Tanner McKee out of Stanford, Clayton Tune out of Houston, Dorian Thompson-Robinson out of UCLA, Aiden O'Connell out of Purdue. I have not even considered quarterbacks, so I don't know who fits the system best. Let's see.
I'm having trouble because mine's not updating based off of picks or anything, but O'Connell was pretty low on the list here. Trying to think of the one you said that's the highest.
I'm thinking maybe Jaron Hall.
Yeah, Hall was number 11 on this list of all quarterbacks.
And he's looks to me like he'd fit the mold a little bit more. He's more of a runner
6'1", 205.
than Justin Fields, but
let's do it. Jaron Hall, QB. We still could take with our next pick, which is only 3 away. Receiver, tight end.
I was gonna say, do we go tight end? Maybe we add some more depth at offensive line. We didn't take any offensive tackles yet. Jordan McFadden out of Clemson's available. It's kind of the guy I'm leaning right now.
We do need to. We need a lot of depth at line.
Yeah,
you got it. So when we said D-line was the number 1 position of need and O-line, to me that means you're addressing it in free agency and the draft.
Yes,
with emphasis on both.
Which we did.
Right. Okay. So let's take a lineman here.
All right.
Who was available? I missed it.
Oh, I already picked it. Jordan McFadden out of Clemson.
Let's see here. I have him. Let's see. Oh boy. Pretty far down there, man. Okay. So that was our 134 pick.
Yes. So we are on pick number 138. And let's see, tight end.
Tight end, running back.
Go
another
Luke
linebacker
Shoemaker out of Michigan.
For tight end?
Yeah. Yeah.
Any Iowa guys?
Cade Stover out of
tight end University?
No. We got Purdue. Payne Durham out of Purdue.
We're showing our Midwest bias here.
Yeah.
Although pretty soon the Big Ten is not just Midwest.
Right. It's USC.
USC, UCLA.
Luke Musgrave out of Oregon
Oklahoma
State.
Or Oregon State.
Yeah.
Okay. He's number 4 overall on this ranking.
All right, let's just go that.
Okay.
We didn't keep Ryan Griffin.
That's right.
Luke
Musgrave.
Cole Kmet needs some
competition.
Chase Brown went 2 picks ahead of us.
Chase Brown. What a shame. And we were thinking running back too.
Yeah, so right now the guy who I would take if we're going to go running backs, Eric Gray out of Oklahoma.
Okay.
As a guy I did do a little bit of research on.
He's number 10 overall on this ranking, and I know Brown was lower than that. So
yeah, I'm just gonna take Gray.
Let's take Eric Gray. We got pick 157 coming up. Is that it for us?
And then a 7th rounder, which is just throwaway.
Okay. Let's see what we got then. So we've addressed D-line, receiver, O-line specifically at center, linebacker, safety/corner. I can't even read a backup quarterback, hopefully of the future. O-line again with McFadden. And then we just took running back.
Yep.
Oh, and a tight end as well. We kind of picked all over the place. We got 157, a 7th pick as well, 7th round, to wrap this up. Does it tell you best available?
Yeah, I don't know if I...
Well, no, I mean, and then we kind of look at
but...
positional as well.
Yes, their best available right now is Jalen Catalon out of Arkansas. He's a safety. Steel Chambers is still available out of Ohio State, linebacker. Could add another. Oh, do we add another offensive center? This is the one that I mentioned I really liked earlier, Joe Tippmann. And Jarrett Patterson could technically move to guard.
Honestly, I'm fine with that because we were talking about possibly bringing Patrick back after a very lackluster season and paying him a lot of money.
Right.
Bring in 2 young guys. Let them compete.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right.
And then 7th, I'm fine just seeing what's there, taking a pick, taking a flyer. You're going to be getting undrafted free agents that are just as likely to matter as that pick.
Yep.
Does it give us a grade or no?
I don't remember.
It'd be nice to know. I'd be curious. I know we'd be kicking butt if it's off of this ranking.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it, though, too, is like...
Because Jalen Carter
if we go off of
number 4 overall.
If we go off of their rankings, like, you know, if we veer off from their rankings, we're going to have a lower pick.
Right,
or a lower grade.
exactly.
Right?
But I'm just looking at a list here of overall rankings. It's got Jalen Carter at number 4, Jalen Hyatt at 7, and we landed both.
So, offensive guard out of Wake Forest is available. That's the top guy they have here in the 7th round.
We've done a lot on the O-line.
Linebackers at the top here. We can go defensive tackle again. Keandre Coburn out of Texas. Again, these are guys that I have not done any research on.
I think D-line's a good place to spend this last pick because we really only addressed it.
All right. I like this name better. That's how we're going to.
That's how you do it.
This is how Ian Cunningham and
Barkevius Mingo
and Ryan Poles
that's how a
doing
true
this,
tandem works.
right? Oh, you know what? We did.
If Key and Peele were to be... Oh, are we going to pick Santos' competition? That's an undrafted free agent, right?
Are there even any kickers we're taking? Noah Ruggles out of Ohio State.
I don't even know if mine shows rankings for kickers. But I'll trust yours. Yeah, Santos, we said he needs competition. We got all these picks. Pick a kicker.
All right. I mean, ideally, I was kind of thinking we need another defensive back, but this is more fun. And Ruggles, that's a fun name.
There you go. All right. Draft is in the books.
All right. So from an analyst perspective, clearly I still need to do some research on these back end guys, but I think the point here was we hit the defensive line with Payne, Jalen Carter.
That's incredible.
And I keep saying
Ngakwe.
God,
and then didn't we get another?
We did not.
Oh, we did not.
We did not. But you still have Travis
Dominique
Gibson
Robinson,
and Dominique Robinson.
Yeah, Dominique Robinson steps up in a system where now you're bringing in true talent.
Right. And you could still add another guy in free agency. Remember, we have $52 million left, right?
Or through trade. So we're confident you can turn this D-line around. O-line, we addressed in free agency with Conklin and Jenkins. We addressed it in the draft with Patterson, McFadden, and then I missed the last one. I didn't write it down.
Oh, Joe Tippmann out of Wisconsin.
We talked about Kramer is coming back.
Yeah. And they have other guys too, like Jatir Carter and guys that they
Leatherwood,
drafted.
we talked about.
Leatherwood. So there's competition there. I think that they can make this line look better.
I'm going in reverse order back to our needs.
Yeah.
So then we said receiver. We're signing a guy like Hardman. We have the potential to trade for a big time name. We also got Hyatt, who's debatably one of the up and coming receivers in this draft.
Right.
And then did we take another one late or no?
We did not.
Okay.
We talked about it. We did not.
Then we both had linebacker. Probably didn't hit that as hard as we need to, but that's where some of that $50 million is going to go.
Correct. There's guys out there, Anthony Hitchens. Like, there's guys that are available that are like middle grade guys, like Nicholas Morrow. I mean,
I thought there was another guy linked to Eberflus that's supposed to be a really good fit, but we got to look into that more.
Okay.
In the draft, we addressed it
with Campbell out of Iowa.
Yep, Campbell. And then last, certainly not least, was DB depth. In free agency, we didn't really talk about it. Again, some of that $50 million will go that way.
Yeah, easily.
drafted Malachi Moore. We were surprised he was there when he was there.
Yep.
And we drafted, I thought there was another, or we passed up on.
We passed up at the end.
Okay. Now, we both talked about the quarterback room, adding
we added
Jaron
Jaron
Hall
Hall out of BYU.
I think that's a good idea. Re-signed Simeon.
We added
Veteran.
running back depth with Eric Gray. Tight end depth with Luke Musgrave.
Yeah. It's what the Bears are going to have to do. Hit on everything. A little bit of everything.
Yeah.
It's a thin roster.
And those are back end type guys. But you need those.
Absolutely.
You can't just ignore those things.
Of course. I think we're future GMs. I mean, This is not that hard of a job.
No. Gosh, I mean, I'm pretty sure it did not give us a grade, by the way. But I'm pretty sure if I was giving this a grade, this is like an A++.
Completely unbiased. And as we're picking, we're like, that name sounds cool.
Right? Oh, I forgot about Ruggles. Ruggles is
Steal of the draft.
Oh, yeah. And we got
we landed two
first-round picks for
That's
2024.
big.
That's huge.
Now, you say trading back twice is maybe a little unrealistic. I don't know if it is. Because if you still feel, okay, the guy we're wanting is there.
I think
I don't know if
twice
the other
is
teams
okay.
wanted to trade.
I didn't think going back 3 times. I just did a mock draft that I wrote Archelon. I traded back 3 times.
People trashed it.
And no, not everyone.
Okay.
Some. But I don't think that's realistic. At some point, you have to pick a player.
And 3, when you don't need a quarterback, that's to me an automatic trade down. I'll be upset if they don't trade down.
We traded down twice. We still picked 9th.
Yeah.
Top 10 pick.
Yes. And got a generational talent.
Right.
So, very happy with that draft. Very happy with the free agents.
And here's what people are going to say. It's unrealistic that Jalen Carter is going to be there. Fine. They're, the guy out of, I'm blanking on his name.
I don't know if that's true. Talked about that position.
Again,
falls.
He had, and reports are now he's got off the field issues. It's possible that maybe that does knock him down, right? But I'm blanking on the guy's name now.
D-line?
Yeah, Bryce. Brian Breesy. I don't know how I'm saying it correctly. I'm horrible at names pronunciation, by the way. But the guy out of Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if Jalen Carter's not there, he's a solid DT at number 9.
Playing next to Payne too.
Right. We already had Deron Payne,
so I'm fine with it. I like what we did. This is what the Bears are going to have to do. And landing future picks for 2024. We talked about how this could be a 2-year project.
Yep.
That's huge.
Yep.
So, all right, Rob, I think this was a long episode. Maybe later we break it up into segments.
Yeah, this will come out as a full, and then I'm going to break it up into 2.
If it recorded at all.
It might be recording where you just see us and we're not actually able to hear us.
Oh, boy. I hope it did.
I hope it did, too.
So, all right, man. Nice
Bear
job.
down?
Bear down.